Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dori, I'm a teacher of English, and in today's video we will talk about the basic plan you need to follow for academic writing task 1. Okay, so in a previous video we talked about the strategy you need to follow by reading the information and the details given to you by the topic. So if you haven't watched that video yet, you might want to check this out first in this link over here. Now, all you need for this task is just a simple plan of 3 to 4 paragraphs, because mainly all you need to do is to write a basic summary of the data that you are given in the diagram. Please remember that, because lots of my students have the tendency to make this task a little bit more difficult than it actually is. So, in your first paragraph, which is your introduction, all you need to do is to just paraphrase the topic, that is, use your own words in order to say the same thing, by stating the main points. For example,
so if you remember the writing task that we used the previous time, it looked like that. And let's read the topic a little bit to remember it. The chart below shows the annual profit made by 4 major international companies in 2011, 2012, 2013 and 2014. And then we have the names of the companies, which are represented here with colors. Okay, so the first thing we do, we read the topic as we said the previous time. So every time we ask, what does the chart show? What are the main points? The annual profits made by what? By 4 major international companies in the course of 4 years. So here is our small plan. We can see here our introduction. We always ask yourself, what does the chart show? And our notes, just the main points briefly. The annual profit of what? Of 4 companies. During what? During 4 years. Okay? So, in order to paraphrase the previous topic a little bit, here's what we can do in just three lines or so. This chart or diagram follows the performance of 4 major international companies in terms of their annual income over the course of 4 years, from 2011 to 2014. So, as you can see, I'm just stating the main points, and I have actually paraphrased the topic given. Okay, this is what you need to do in your introduction.
okay, that's it. Our introduction will be ready in no time, especially if you familiarize yourself with paraphrasing introductions. Now, about your next paragraph. All you need to do here is to state the most important points and information you can see in the diagram. I know that this can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but just start from the most obvious information you see. For example, start from the highest values and then from the lowest values and things, and then you can move on with stable performances and stuff like that. For example,
so then in our summary, we start by noting the most, all this information that stands out. For example, we can see that in 2011, over here, 2011, the annual profit of Grow&Flow was the lowest, the yellow color over here. However, what else can we see that really stands out is that in 2014, ABC 10 companies profits skyrocketed in 2014. MegaMarket was the most profitable in 2012. It has a big difference from the rest. But then we can see that, well, it dropped a little bit and then went up again. These are the things that you first notice, and these are the things that you're going to put in your summary. So for the next paragraph over here, the first actual paragraph that we're going to write, it is about our observation, about what we can see, about the information that we see in the diagram. So Our notes briefly could be the annual profit of Grow&Flow was the lowest in 2011, the profits of ABC10 skyrocketed in 2014 over here, and MegaMarket was the most profitable in 2014, but then, and we continue by stating what we see. These are just examples of notes, just to give you an idea what you can write in this paragraph and how you can phrase what you actually see in the picture.
This is what you do. You include the summary of the diagram in this paragraph. In this case, in our example, you just describe each company and the performance over the years by starting for the most exceptional data, the most exceptional information in order to help you, okay? Now, in the next paragraph, you start making comparisons. You don't have to state each and everything. No, by all means, no, don't do that. Just the most important points that you think that should be mentioned. Just be clear and specific and choose the most obvious correlations according to your own opinion. So, your plan notes for the next paragraph could look like that.
So you can say that Grow&Flow, the profits of Grow&Flow and Today Globals having decreased in 2014. You can also say that from 2012 to 2014, over here, MegaMarket and Grow&Flow are closely aligned, as you can see, not much of a difference. And of course, you can also say that with the exception of ABC10 over here, that steadily increases, reaching its peak in 2014, all the rest have significantly dropped in terms of profits. Okay? In your next paragraph, second paragraph, you can start with comparisons. So, mainly, these are just examples. The profits of Grow&Flow and Today Global decreased in 2004. From 2012 to 2014, the profits of MegaMarket and Grow&Flow are closely aligned. They are together. And with the exception of ABC10, all the rest have significantly dropped in terms of profit over here. Okay, so these are just notes of just stating what you can see by comparing the information. Just that, okay? You do not have to write everything, just what you consider important.
Always be simple. You have no idea what you can gain with that. I mean, lots of students think that if their phrasing is too simple, they're going to lose marks for it. But really, the only way that you can lose marks is convoluted phrasing, complex phrasing that is, that leads to grammatical and syntactical mistakes. So, what I like to say, better be simple than sorry. And now you're ready to go and write that essay. Ideally, with enough practice, this plan will be written in no time. You would be able to write it at the spot with some notes of yours, especially if you practice enough. However, if you're just starting out, it will prove very, very helpful to actually fill that in more detail before you write your essay. Okay, that's it for today. Ask me your comments here or on Facebook, Twitter and Google+. I bet it's all 3 links down below in the description box. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your exam.